Ukrainian territories in the east by the Russian Federation. At the same time, we are convinced that it takes more efforts, more unity and more solidarity at the global level to force Russia leave from Ukraine. Only in such a way peace can be restored. Peace in Ukraine is vital for the welfare of the entire continent, and it is essential for us here in the Republic of Moldova, where security risks have been growing since the beginning of the war. The war has brought to our country huge economic and social damages that every single citizen can feel. We are facing the worst energy crisis in the last 3 decades, a crisis where energy resources are used as weapons that are targeting democracy. And this energy war is happening not only in the Republic of Moldova. Authorities are undertaking huge efforts to assure the country with energy resources and decrease the burden of prices for energy on people and economy. And the society makes efforts. Households, institutions, companies have reduced their energy consumption. In October, the consumption of gas dropped by 57% and electricity by 14% compared to October last year. Nevertheless, the situation continues to be difficult, and we can cope with this energy crisis only together. European solidarity, including to the countries neighboring the European Union, is vital in these times where we have numerous crises. Only together, in solidarity, we will be able to go through the winter that is approaching, and we will be able to keep our freedom and democracy and peaceful future. Dear Ursula, the European Union has always supported us in the most critical moments. In the last 2 years, marked by crisis, consecutive crisis, our country has felt especially the support of the European Union. We are grateful to the European Commission and to the EU member states by allocating on the 1st of August the first tranche of 50 million euros of the new macrofinancial assistance. Thank you for the supplementary budget support of 75 million euros offered in August to be able to cope with higher and higher costs for energy resources. Connecting the Republic of Moldova to electricity sources from the European Union via the Continental Electricity Network, NSOE, is indeed a life buoy in this situation when we no longer can buy electricity from Ukraine or Kuchurgan. Thank you to all EU member states for their support throughout this period, and thank you to Romania, thanks to which today we have electricity in our homes. We highly appreciate the assistance provided through the EU Peace Facility, 7 million euro in 2021, to build capacities of the medical staff and the sappers of the National Army, and 40 million announced in 2022 for 6 areas of interest: defense logistics, mobility, command and control, cyber defense, air reconnaissance, and tactic communications. We appreciate the support of the EU in managing the refugee crisis, and in this context I would like to mention the humanitarian assistance provided through the EU civil support mechanism and detachment of the Frontex, the European agency, into the Republic of Moldova, and the decision to establish in Chișinău the EU Internal Security and Border Management Hub. We will continue counting on the capacity building of the law enforcement and improvement in rapid response, border management, communication exchanges, data analysis, and capacities to ensure public order. In our turn, we are glad that we can contribute to the initiative, EU initiative Solidarity Lanes for Ukraine, which contributes to assuring the transit of grains, food products, and other primary goods from and into Ukraine. Dear President, Thanks to the European partners, we were able to save numerous lives during the pandemic, and we were able to help the economic operators survive. Now, when the war has closed a number of markets for our farmers, the European Union again stretched its helping hand by temporarily eliminating customs duties for 7 Moldovan produce which is exported to the EU market. We hope that the next step will be the elimination of the quotas for Moldovan farm produce and rapid finalization of the procedures of authorizing the products of animal origin from Moldova into the European Union market, which will help our farmers and exporters integrate even more into the EU economy. European programs have been contributing to setting up new businesses, creating new jobs in the communities throughout the country, and through the infrastructure projects funded by the European Union, we modernize the country and we grow the living standard of the people. 2 days ago, we have participated in the inauguration of a segment of a road that had been renovated with the EU support. That was in Porumbrei-Cimișlie. This is one of hundreds of projects which are being implemented in the Republic of Moldova with the support of European funds, contributing to the modernization of the country. Dear Ursula, we are determined to move forward on the path of European integration that we have stepped firmly on in spring of this year when we have filed our EU accession application. I would like to thank you personally and the colleagues from the European Commission for the support that you have provided us in getting the status of a candidate country. We are firmly engaged in the reform processes that will bring Moldova into the EU, including to fulfill the recommendations formulated in the Commission opinion of 17th of June 2022. We count on a rapid assessment in 2023 in order to launch accession negotiations, and we count on the support of the EU member states in this process. And in parallel to the accession process, the Republic of Moldova will continue implementing its association agreement with the EU. It depends on all of us how quickly we will begin the negotiations and how quickly the day will come when Chișinău will be not only a capital of a candidate country, but also a capital, European capital. We are determined to walk towards that day because we want to bring Moldova into a safe and prosperous space of the European Union, a space where human life and freedom are supreme values, where peace, dialogue, and respect are the founding principles, and the states are not attacked because of their development path which they choose. Thank you.
I came here today to this beautiful country to show to you and to show to the people of Moldova that the European Union stands firmly by your side. Indeed, Russia continues to wage its brutal war against Ukraine, our neighbor, targeting essential infrastructure, electricity, heating, water, in despicable acts of cruelty, and creating chaos on global energy markets with its weaponizing of energy. And this also threatens the Republic of Moldova. But please know that European solidarity with Moldova is unshakable. And just as the Moldovan people have shown unshakable solidarity with the Ukrainian refugees, you opened your arms, you opened your doors to the people fleeing the war. Almost 600,000 Ukrainian refugees have passed through your country. Around 80,000 remain in Moldova. And Moldova is showing once again its attachment to the values that are at the heart of the European Union. A small country with a big, big heart. And I'm very pleased that Moldova is now a candidate country to the European Union. You deserve it. This is a clear acknowledgement of Moldova's decisive pro-European and reform-oriented agenda. This is all the more impressive when you consider the extremely challenging circumstances your country faces because of Russia's war in Ukraine. And rest assured, we are accompanying you in this process. So, dear Maia, since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, we've been the closest partners. We've had many, many phone calls, many meetings. In the past year alone, the European Union provided over 840 million euros in loans and grants to Moldova. Now, the Republic of Moldova is facing an acute energy crisis related to both the supply of gas and electricity and the affordability of gas and electricity. And rest assured, we are doing everything we can to help you face this crisis. Therefore, we have put together an additional energy support package for the Republic of Moldova. First, we are pledging 200 million euros to help Moldova meet its gas supply needs. This will consist of 100 million euros in grants and 100 million euros in loans. The money should be available from January 2023 on. And secondly, we will provide an additional 50 million euros for budgetary support to Moldova. This will help provide support to those most vulnerable, so that this is a targeted budgetary support. And finally, of course, we will work closely with donors to provide additional support to Moldova through the Moldova Support Platform. The support platform will meet on the 21st of November in Paris. In this context, the Commission is working with the Energy Community Secretariat to put in place an energy rescue scheme for Moldova to allow donors to support energy purchases. So I hope that these measures combined will give Moldova much needed support as it goes through the winter. Looking ahead to our common future, Moldova is not only our neighbor and our partner and a close friend, but of course also a candidate for membership in the European Union. Moldova is part of our European family, and family must stick together when the times are getting tough and difficult. And that's why I'm here today, my dear Maia. Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you very much. Stimați colegi din presă, vom lua câte 2 întrebări pentru fiecare dintre oficiale. Vă rog.
Saskia Dekkers from European correspondent Dutch television Nieuwsuur. I have a question first for President Maia Sandu. You mentioned that your country is in danger last week, and you talked as well about blackmail. Could you please explain if that's just energy blackmail or also political blackmail? And I have a question for President von der Leyen. Do you think that it's important for the European Union to help against this political blackmail? Thank you.
Well, with respect to energy, you know that Gazprom cut gas supply by 50% with no plausible explanation, justification. And we do believe that this is a political decision. It's not a commercial decision, because Moldova has been paying for its gas consumption despite the fact that the prices have been growing and they are very high. We do see, including in the international press, information about the coalition between the Russian-supported political forces in Moldova and the corruption criminal groups, which are trying to use the difficult situation in the country, including the high inflation, the impact of the energy crisis and of the economic crisis on people's incomes, to use it against the democratically elected authorities in Moldova and against the democratic process in Moldova.
Indeed, the Republic of Moldova is a European country, part of our European family, and it's a country that, with courage and with determination, is defending democracy and our shared values. So it is in our common interest to support you. We have been standing by your side, and we will stand by your side because we're deeply impressed how resolute and how determined you are standing up for democracy, you're standing up for peace, for international respect for international laws, and for our shared values.
Oksana Bodnar, Publica
TV. The first question to the President Maia Sandu. How do you qualify currently the relations Moldova gas and in general our country with Gazprom? Is there any solution to improve these relations if we have this purpose at all? And if we have solutions to replace Russian gas, and which role can be played by the EU in this case? And the same question is also to Ms. Ursula von der Leyen. And if you could specify which solutions would the EU have in general for the energy security in the region, in Moldova in particular, and how you will check the spending of the sources of the funds to be provided to Moldova. Thank you. Well, you know very well that there is a contract with Gazprom, a contract which clearly specifies the volumes that need to be supplied, and you know that Gazprom has unilaterally decided to reduce these volumes. Consumers from the Republic of Moldova pay for their consumption, and I repeat, even if the price is very high. The decision had been, again, I repeat this, had been taken unilaterally by Gazprom, being aware of the uncertainty of the provision of gas by Gazprom, or supply of gas by Gazprom. The government and the respective institutions have created conditions for Energocom to be able to buy gas on the market, and you know that we have succeeded to purchase a certain quantity of gas. And today we have heard the announcement of the European Commission President about the fact that the Republic of Moldova will benefit from supplementary support to be able to purchase more gas on the market so that we can cope with the winter.
Yes, indeed. Let me tell you a little bit of our experiences with Gazprom. Russia was once the biggest supplier of fossil fuel to the European Union, and the European Union was the biggest client for fossil fuels from Russia. These times are completely over. Russia has cut, and Gazprom has cut 80% of the gas supply in the last 8 months. But we have been able to compensate. We have diversified away from Russia to reliable suppliers like the United States, like Norway, Azerbaijan, Algeria, and others. We have saved energy, like you do, 15% by now, and we have filled our gas storages for the winter. So we are well prepared for the winter, and we have drastically reduced our dependency from Russian fossil fuels because Russia is no reliable supplier anymore. And therefore, the same goes for Moldova. As I said, you are part of our European family. So we support you in diversifying to other suppliers of gas, for example. We do everything to provide in reverse flow gas to the Republic of Moldova from other suppliers. Of course, what electricity is concerned, you're part of our market, and we share as much as possible electricity with you. This has to be done under huge time pressure, but we are of course willing to do that with you because, as I said, we know exactly what you're going through, and we admire the courage with which you are withstanding and standing up. This is very important. And therefore, the 200 million euros are basically now to diversify away to other gas supplies, and the 50 million budget support is your decision, but it might help to support vulnerable households and vulnerable businesses.
Stimată doamnă președintă Maia Sandu, stimată doamnă președintă Ursula von der Leyen, stimați colegi, evenimentul a luat sfârșit.
President von der Leyen, the event is over. Thank you very much.